Hello, so this video is going to be a book review / recommendation for Giant Days, which is a comic book series. I originally heard about this series from Vanessa over at the channel Chbosky, whose channel I'll link down below. She's a fantastic YouTuber and she reads lots of different genres, so go and check her channel out, and I'm sure there's loads of videos that you'll really like of hers and find lots of helpful book recommendations. So she featured these books in a wrap-up, and then she also featured them I think in her yearly wrap-up as well, and after that yearly wrap-up I was like, right, that's it, I've got to go and get my hands on it, and I did. I have 3 volumes here and I thought I'd do a video on it recommending these books to you because I think these are fabulous. Okay, so Giant Days is essentially about 3 different girls. So we have Daisy, who's on the cover of volume 3 here. Daisy is very fun, she's the youngest, she's very naive, she likes to talk to birds and other animals, she's very fun, she's so likeable, everybody loves Daisy. Then we have Susan, who's on the cover of volume 2. Susan's a medical student, she's a bit more serious, but at uni is her old kind of friend / love flame, and their relationship changes and progresses through this series. It's very cool. And then finally Esther. Esther's a bit kooky and different, she's fun, she's beautiful, but she's a big drama queen, and that's what we like. It's essentially about their life at university. There are a couple of side characters as well, both of them men, and it's just great. I love it. Something that I really enjoy about these books is that all the girls are a bit different. They're all got their kind of kookiness about them, and their different shapes and sizes, different fashion senses, different personalities, and it just works and gels so brilliantly together. Love it. One thing that I really like doing is going onto Goodreads and looking at negative reviews, because as they say, one man's rubbish is another man's treasure, and what lots of people don't like about certain books is actually what I love about books, and it's definitely the case here. So one of the things that people say about these books is it's not really plot driven, and it's not. The essential plot of these books is that it's university life. That's it. That's as plain as simple as it is. Simple. But each volume has 4 chapters in it, and each chapter has its own like mini plot. So for instance, volume 1, first one is about a bit. Second chapter is about freshers flu. So that's how it kind of works, if you will. And I really like that. I generally like books where not a lot happens. I'm just that sort of person. Don't know why, just love it. Another thing that people say is it's a bit silly and a bit juvenile. Personally, I love that. I have this kind of very typical British sense of humour. I love things like Blackadder, Mr Bean, Fawlty Towers. I really like silly comedies, and although the comics itself, they're not that funny, they can be funny at times and they can be a little bit daft and silly, but that's what university is. You know, these are still, you know, young 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and they're just kind of messing about trying to be adults, but actually it's very funny and silly and warm-hearted, and I think if you like traditional British humour, you'll like these. If you don't like it, then fair enough. Also, I know people have said that it's not really realistic to university life, and I'm going to argue this one because I think it depends on what university life you had. I mean, for me, I tried to experience the whole life at uni. So I lived at uni for a time, and then I lived at home for a time as well. So I think it depends. And also I was part of a sports club as well. So I think it depends on what type of things you got up to at university. If you don't get up to much and you just sit in the library all day, okay, some of these aren't going to appeal to you and they're not going to feel realistic. I mean, there are definitely certain chapters that I don't think are that realistic, but I know that they're just filling it out. So for instance, a chapter is Susan goes home and she gets into trouble, and kind of Daisy and Esther come and kind of save the day, so to speak, which isn't the most realistic things, but going back home and your friends coming to visit you, that is quite a realistic thing. So yeah, I think it just depends on what sort of university life you had yourself. Like, I was part of a sports team, so there were loads of bets on at university and things like that, so I think it just depends person to person. Something that I really love about these comics is the pacing. I like the fact that it's not rushed. You haven't got a semester shoved into one whole volume. It's over, you know, a certain period of time. I also really like the pacing of certain storylines that continue all throughout the chapters. For instance, Daisy. Daisy's definitely, although she's one of the main characters, she's definitely the more subdued of the main characters. Susan and Esther are definitely more out there in OTT. And Daisy definitely does take a back seat. However, something that keeps cropping up is Daisy's sexuality. Daisy was homeschooled, so she doesn't have as much experience as some of the other girls in regards to sexuality, and she is exploring that. And what I like is that she wouldn't ordinarily just do it over, you know, a week. It would take time for her to explore, and I like that that's done in that way. And I'm sure we're going to have lots more, and eventually there'll probably be a whole chapter just on Daisy's sexuality alone. I also really love the artwork of this. Now, there are two different styles of artwork. The first one is this one, which is in volume 1 and half of volume 2, and then it changes to this is the next lot of artwork. Now, I have to be honest, I love them both equally. If I'm reading a chapter and it's got the original artwork, great. If I'm reading a chapter and it's got the new artwork, fabulous. I love them both. Artwork is one of those things that's personal preference, and personally, I love both equally now. I like it. So I think that's all I can say really about Giant Days, other than I absolutely love them. When it comes to rereading, actually, I have read the first volume 3 times and the second and third only once, because I want to get my hands on the 4th, which has just been released, and as soon as I actually grab it, I'm going to read the whole of the series all again. So that'll be a fantastic lazy day, sitting there, cup of tea, Giant Days, brilliant. So that's it. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've read Giant Days. If you have, what do you think of it? Do you like it? Not that big of a fan. I'd love to know your thoughts and theories. If you haven't got it, are you going to get your hands on it? And just to let you know that I will leave links to get your hands on Giant Days from the Book Depository in the description box, so check that out if you want it. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I shall see you soon for the next one. Take care for now. Bye!